two you've mentioned. I mean, anybody who listens to our show could have known you were going to start with A.J. Brown and Jalen Phillips with that answer. So I don't think we're breaking any news here with that. But you got the tight end position with Goddard looming and really nobody under contract. You have the offensive line where not easy to make moves on that offensive line. I mean, it almost feels to me, and you can correct me if you don't feel this way or if you just clarify how you think differently. The offensive line feels like hope at this point. I mean, you're hoping that Landon Dickerson can play better. You're hoping that Cam Jurgens is going to play better. You're hoping that Lane Johnson, can play through the year. Those are all things that I think are relevant, and it's not that easy to fix that O-line. It's not just like, draft an offensive lineman in the first round. I mean, who are you putting on the bench? Your $20 million guard? I guess Tyler Steen, maybe. How do you think they address those positions? Because those are the decisions, I think, where they could become a contender or become not. To me, they can sign A.J. or bring A.J. Brown back, not sign. He's already signed. And they still might not be good if they don't make the other right decisions. So how do they address those?
Well, yeah, I don't think you can address anything with Landon, Cam, and Lane other than, they get healthier. That's out of your hands. And you did what you did. They all make a lot of money. So, but they're going to play if they're healthy, and if they're healthy, they're going to be good. But that's something none of us can predict. The presumption is that even at his age, Lane is going to be healthy from the list rank. That's probably the most clear cut. And then Cam, we've talked about a lot, going down to Medellin, getting some stem cell stuff. And then Landon, thinking about retirement, going to come back, yada, yada. It's got multiple injuries, multiple things. So that part of it, they do have decent depth, though, I would say, at least with potential. Like I think Drew Kendall can be a starting center in this league. And this is where Chris Cooper's got to come in and take the baton. And Cam Williams, look, I've said from day one, if Cam Williams stayed in school, he'd probably be at worst a second-round pick in this draft. So if you can imagine he had a big year at Texas, he might have been a first-round pick. That's the kind of talent he has. And yeah, Miles Hinton as well. Willie Lampkin. I know a lot of people are excited about Willie Lampkin. They have a lot of young pieces of clay that we got used to Jeff Stoutland developing. Now it's got to be Chris Cooper. If you need Drew Kendall to step in for Cam Jurgens, if you need Cam Williams to step in for Lane Johnson, if you need Miles Hinton or Holland Pierce or somebody like that to step in for Landon Dickerson, it's probably not going to look great early, but I do think they have some pieces to work with, and I just mentioned five young players. Not all five are going to hit. That's not realistic, but maybe one or two does. And then, first round of the draft, 23 overall, they might take an offensive lineman. That's one of the top potential ways they go. And all of a sudden you have a guy with big time talent, And I think, is that Kayden Proctor or is that Blake Miller? Like now, I think it might be Blake Miller.
Well, John, Kayden is athletic. He's just huge. So I don't know about guard,
Yeah, he's athletic for his size, but his size is huge, as you pointed out. Like Landon's athletic for his size.
Yeah, Kayden's more like Mailata, dude.
No, I get it. Well, all right. Well,
Alabama,
I get it.
Crazy. Real quick though, it used to drive me crazy because I talk to you every day, and you're like, "Fucking, I hate gimmick plays." And now I'm starting to sound like McMullen. I'm watching these gimmick plays. I'm like, "Why are we doing that?" But they would put Kayden Proctor, John, in the flat at Alabama, and throw him a ball in the red zone to try and get him into the end zone. Like, he's that type of athlete. He's definitely got some big boy athleticism.
Yeah, well, I think so. I won't go farther than Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson, who are. I mean, Lane Johnson might be the most athletic right tackle of all time.
Yeah, well, tough to compare.
But he's still more. But he's still more. And Jordan Mailata is incredibly. Everybody goes back to his rugby highlights and why don't you give him the football? And then kind of.
Remember, he used to say that early in his career.
Yeah,
I haven't heard that much anymore.
Still, they're not this style. They're not the Alex Gibbs style offensive lineman, where you want more 310 pounds who can just run. So, and Nick kind of said, well, good players will fit in all schemes. Not kind of, that's what he said. I mean, they draft the way they do for a reason, the people that play that scheme. So I do think, and Howie, like I said, it basically confirmed it. Maybe a click is what he said, which means, yeah, we're going to change. So, and that's why I'm not saying Kayden Proctor's not a good player. I think if Jeff Stoutland was still here in the old system, I would have said Kayden Proctor 23.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Now, I'm saying Blake Miller 23 because I think they're going to change. It's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
Blake Miller is 22 years old. He's 6'6", 315 at a Clemson University. John, do you see him slotting him in year one? What do you see with Blake Miller that you like?
He's athletic. Very athletic. And yeah, he could play. He could start a guard and eventually kick out to right tackle.
Yeah.
And that's even like I'm not even. I think people are way too harsh on Tyler Steen.
I don't think Tyler Steen was that bad. I mean, I don't think he was a world beater, but I also was.
No, I think he was fine.
You better replace Tyler Steen. I thought he was fine. Yeah, I'm with you.
And also Monroe Freeling from Georgia, another guy that Jeremiah mentioned. Those are the guys I think they're going to be looking at. The Blake Millers and the Monroe Freelings, where in the past it would be Kayden Proctor. And the one kid from Utah, but I don't think he's going to be there even close. So I don't talk about him.
Caleb?
Yeah. He's just not in. He's going to be gone.
Both of those Utah linemen are freaking beasts, dude. Spencer and Caleb.
Caleb Lomo is the guy, though, I think would be the best fit, but I just don't think it's realistic. Or maybe it's fine. I get them mixed up. It's Fano and Lomo.
No, Fano's the guy who's going to go in the top.
Fano's the guy, then. Yeah, I'm mixing them up. So Fano's the guy. But I think he's top 10.
Wait, so you think Fano's the better fit? So, yeah, then there's really no chance because Fano's going to go.
Yeah.
He's going to go top. He might go top 7.
And I think you're right. I think both of them will be gone before 23.
Yeah. Caleb, I was thinking Caleb, not because of the fit. I mean, you might be right on the fit. The reason I was thinking Caleb is because I think he's going to fall a little bit more, maybe the 15 to 20 range.
Yeah. And they might go up and get some. I mean, they might go up, you talk about trading A.J. Brown. Everybody's saying, well, you get a second-round pick. Maybe they trade up from 23 to 8 to get Spencer Fana.
Ooh.
Maybe that's something.
What do they have to do to make that deal? Are they going to ask a team to take on some of the dead cap? Can you do that? You can do that, right?
No, not the dead cap.
Not the dead cap.
Dead cap's dead cap. You can adjust, the money from but the dead money is yours to keep for till death do you part.
Well, what can they take? Can they take on some of the contract or something? They got to be something they can do.
Well, they would be taking on the rest of the contract.
What could they do to my point is, what could they do to a